Over the past couple of weeks, AI has took over the internet by storm. More specifically, with this trend of turning random images and memes into Studio Ghibli artwork. Someone even made a Studio Ghibli version of the Lord of the Rings trailer in 9 hours. And as you all know, we in the animation community cannot stand by this. So today, I'm going to be the hero nobody needs to take a stand against AI by basically animating this meme in Studio Ghibli style. We will be focusing on creating a simple hair animation, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna show you the step-by-step process so you can have the skills to beat AI too. Yes! Yes! But I have to be honest guys, this challenge actually tested my skills and my patience. I don't know guys, I feel like I fucked up. So stick around till the end to see whether or not we beat AI. Anyway, this idea came from this video done by Bunaye. So huge shout out to him for paving a path to us animators who wants to stand against AI. This video is sponsored by my Patreon, but more on that in the end. I started with gathering the required references, including this meme I was planning to turn into Ghibli. I have a suspicion that even this full version of the meme was made by AI because the actual meme just looked like this. I also gathered references from various characters of the Studio Ghibli art style. After all, AI can't do their crap without illegally feeding their machines with millions of artworks by artists on the internet. So, using references is basically a very important step in art and animation. AI just do it in the most unethical way possible. So, after that, it's time to start doing my rough animation. So, here's the plan. I will create two cells, one for the head and one for the hair. If you are new to animation and don't know what a cell means, it's basically a layer but in animation term. The reason for this is basically just to keep things very simple. The head will only have one drawing, and the hair will have multiple drawings that will create the animation. So, I started doing a rough sketch of the head, referencing the soft characteristics you see on characters like Chihiro from Spirited Away and Ponyo from, well, Ponyo. Then, I drew the eyes half closed, but spoiler alert, I actually changed this later on after everything is done to stay true to the vibe of the original meme, which is more evil looking. Anyways, after that, I proceeded to create the Ganga or keyframe drawing for this drawing, which if you don't know, have these blue lines with blue and skin color fills indicating the shadows and red lines with yellow fill indicating some highlights. After that, I went ahead and did the rough animation for the hair. It was at this moment that I was feeling confident, that I even explained on stream the concept of a flag animation that can be applied to the hair. Imagine having a ball flowing, right? So it's an S, and the next frame it's like you move this ball right here, something like it needs to be at the same spot. So if you have the ball right here, you have it something like that. And then the next one is like a reverse S, right? So it's like a repeating pattern like that, but you want to make it smooth, right? Yeah, I was only confident in my head that time, but now looking back, I explained that concept very poorly. Anyway, equipped with this knowledge and a false sense of confidence, I tried animating the hair, and honestly, I don't even want to explain to you how I did it in this first try, because after an hour of grueling trial and error, I came up with this. And I know this is just a rough animation. Of course, it will look rough, but I don't think this is how hair animation is supposed to look like. So, on top of failing my first attempt in beating AI with my animation, I also had to fail in front of my 7 diehard fans who were watching this on stream, titled Hair Animation Tutorial. Bruh. But yeah, that didn't faze me because failure is part of learning. So I restarted the whole animation from scratch. However, my dog wanted to poop, so I had to take her out in the middle of the stream. After a quick break and touching grass outside with my dog, I went back at it, and I remember the concept of seaweed animation that was explained by Dong Chang from his video 3 years ago on how to animate hair. And here's what I learned from him. If you think about the hair as one strand with a fixed endpoint, you can easily rough out how the other end of the hair moves from side to side and how it actually forms either an S or a C. To illustrate more clearly, we can imagine the hair being affected by a ball going on both directions but with a different timing. Now, armed with a better understanding on hair animation, I also realized that I should be animating each part of the hair separately, so that's exactly what I did for the bangs. It was at this time that things have become easier to manage. I gained a better understanding on how hair should move, so for each strand of bangs I animated, I am gaining more confidence again. I then proceeded to group the right side of the hair into one chunk and I animated it. But I first created a single strand of animated hair on the side as my guide. This worked perfectly, so I applied this technique to the other two parts of the hair, following basically the same concept. And after a few more minutes, I have a very convincing hair animation, which is way better than the first one. Now, I have redeemed myself in front of my audience in live stream, and it was now time to do the Genga for the hair. For this, I also added a copy of the head and the ear so I can enclose the whole drawing. I just had to erase the intersecting parts with the vector eraser. The hair would have a pink shadow color fill with a blue line in Genga or keyframe drawings. After this, it was just a matter of cleaning up the animation and coloring it. And I honestly contemplated to asking my friend James to do the cleanup and coloring of this animation for me, since he is basically the Doga artist for most of my animations. After all, people are worried about AI taking their jobs, but one of my dreams is to actually create a small team of trusted animators, so I always try my best to commission other artists and animators to help me with my projects, as long as I have the budget for it. If not, then I just basically do it myself. In this particular case, James is already working on my Final Fantasy animation, so I don't want to bother him. And this is actually a very simple animation, so I just decided to do it myself. And after 1 hour on stream, working on the line art, shadows, and color, I finally have this animation. Compared to this AI slop, I think mine was already better just because it's animated, but I think I can make it even better by doing a little post-compositing. So I put everything in After Effects, and I even added a background that I grabbed from Google, which apparently was an actual hand-painted background by Miyazaki. Full disclosure, I'm not a background artist, and I actually have a guy who does my background paintings for me, but he's busy working on my Final Fantasy VII anime. So I just decided to create a placeholder for this particular animation using one of Miyazaki's paintings. And after adding the infamous anime filter and doing a bunch of After Effects things, this is now what I have for the final animation. I would love to thank these Patreons and channel members for supporting this channel. And for those who are interested in having the Clip Studio Paint files used for this animation, including some exclusive content, you can sign up as a Genga Warrior down in my Patreon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.